Oh, welcome to Toronto Maple Leafs Baseball on YouTube. Thomas West here alongside Zach Benoit. Zach, this is a big day for the Toronto Maple Leafs because with the Brantford Red Sox lost to them last time out, what a thrilling game it was, an 8-7 final. That meant that the Toronto Maple Leafs have clinched a playoff spot. We weren't sure if that was going to happen this season, but it has, and that's big for the Maple Leafs. They're going to the postseason.
Oh, it's absolutely massive, and I think when you look at that last game played, it was huge for them to come back from behind and get that victory, and now they want to kind of continue to climb up the standings. They have a chance to do something kind of magical here, keep climbing as they sit behind Chatham-Kent now.
Yeah, the Chatham-Kent Barnstormers just a game and a half ahead of them as we see the rain start to come down here at Dominico Field. That could be a factor in this game today, but the Toronto Maple Leafs, they got their eyes set looking up right now.
Yeah, it's looking good, and they're playing a really good brand of baseball right now. They're getting solid starting pitching. The bats really are really performing 1 through 9, and you know there's been a little bit of fireworks the last couple of games here, especially at Christie Pitts. But other than that, it's been a solid, sound team, and it's a very different team than what they started the year with.
Over behind us, the Brantford Red Sox are taking batting practice right now. These are really, really big games for them coming down the stretch. They got 5 games remaining in the season. They can't catch the Maple Leafs, but they could catch the Kitchener Panthers. They're just 2 games behind them, and they're going to need to win some baseball games. This game right here against the Maple Leafs, this is their best chance to win a ball game right now because the schedule coming up is not easy.
Yeah, they do not have a very easy schedule coming up, and this game against the Leafs, it's going to be vitally important for both sides, really, when you look at the Leafs. They're trying to climb in that standings, get a possible better matchup in the playoffs. Brantford, they're trying to crack into that playoffs, and to their best, you know, Kitchener, they've been on a little bit of a slide too, so they're keeping it very, very close for that last seed.
Yeah, Kitchener has not been winning a lot of ball games, but they did win last time out against the Brantford Red Sox, and that's why Brantford's in this must-win situation right now. Zach and I will have the call when we come back. You're watching Toronto Maple Leafs Baseball on YouTube, brought to you by
Welcome to Toronto Maple Leafs baseball here at Dominico Field. Zach Benoit beside me here is Gus Cousins. And Gus, you know, the IBL standings, and it's been a little bit of a rough start for the Maple Leafs, but they've been slowly bringing it back. They currently sit in 7th place. They're a bunch of games up, or excuse me, I should say 3.5 games up on the Kitchener Panthers, and they sit 1.5 back of the Chatham-Kent Barnstormers for 6th in the IBL.
Yeah, it's a very tight race, and it's coming right down to the wire, not just for the Toronto Maple Leafs, but for the teams you mentioned. Chatham, Hamilton, Guelph, and London are currently duking it out for 3rd place. Kitchener's trying to fend off the Brantford Red Sox, and speaking of which, their game against the Maple Leafs today, while they know they can't catch Toronto, is a major one for them. They're running out of games to make up ground in the Kitchener Panthers, who are just holding on by the skin of their teeth that final playoff spot. And there's 3 or 4 good matchups in the first round here that we're looking at, but they can go 3 or 4 different ways. We just don't know yet. And over the last 3, 4, 5, 6 games, in the case of Guelph, there's going to be a lot yet to be decided here as the season winds down.
Yeah, and when you look at really just the standing in general, there's going to be a lot of scoreboard watching today. Obviously, like you just mentioned, this game, Brantford and Toronto, it's going to be a very, very important game for both sides. If Toronto wins, they can get a little bit closer to the Chatham-Kent Barnstormers. If Brantford wins, they can try to get closer to that last playoff spot. Also, the Chatham-Kent Barnstormers, they are currently down 1-0 against the Guelph Royals, so that is a game Maple Leaf fans will be keeping an eye on. But we're going to turn to the man on the mound here today for the Maple Leafs, and that man is Angel Castro.
Yeah, and he's been nothing short of brilliant the last 2 starts, and ever since he joined the club, he's been eating innings non-stop, and especially over the last 2 starts versus the London Majors and the Guelph Royals, who we just saw are 2 very good teams. He's pitched terrific. He's gotten some shaky defense behind him, and that's kind of bumped up his pitch count. It's limited how far he's been able to go into games. But like you see here, 13 innings over 2 starts, a spectacular ERA. He struck out 15 and only walked 2, and that's a big deal for him. He's a strike thrower, and that's how he succeeded. If he keeps throwing strikes and he keeps the ball in the zone, teams have not been able to hit him hard, and he's going to want to do that again today against the Brantford Red Sox.
Yeah, last time out he took the loss, but it was 6 strong innings, and the one before that against London, it was a 7-inning performance from Castro. He had 8 strikeouts in that one and 7 strikeouts against Guelph, and it's just been dominance. He's been performing very well, and it was something worth noting that he's a pitcher where he tends to speed up the game, but the last couple starts, he's been really slowing things down, and it's been working in his favor. So we'll see if that trend starts here, and the first pitch is off, and it's in there for strike 1.
First pitch, 2-0.
Castro delivers, and looks like an off-speed low and away for ball 1. 4 runs, 1 earned his last time out, and really it could have been back-to-back starts where he had no runs at all. It was just kind of a little bit of a wonky first inning from the Maple Leafs. This one's lifted into shallow right field, and it's going to drift foul, and Murchison, he gave a great effort there, just couldn't get into the glove.
Yeah, and this is what he's done so well, is he's become a little bit slower on the mound. He's been setting himself a lot more, and he's been throwing a lot more strikes. You know, ever since he started the season, his first couple starts, giving up hard contact, giving up home runs, walking more guys, but just 2 walks over his last 13 innings. I mean, that's terrific for a guy that the Leafs are going to count on moving forward into the playoffs. And then over the last couple weeks or so, very, very important.
He's definitely somebody that's going to be important for the Maple Leafs, and he gets his first strikeout of the game right there on a big swing on a breaking ball.
Yeah, Fabian late on a fastball, then throws him an off-speed pitch, swing him right over top of it. And this is the start that we've seen the last 2 times out.
The defensive alignment will look like this in the outfield from left to right. Julian Johnson, Connor Lewis, and Marcus Connect. And Mr. Cousins, this is where things get interesting. Manning third base on the infield, it's Ryan Dos Santos. And then Charlie Tao is at short, Dan Marr at second, Cole Murchison at first, and Justin Mara behind the plate. But Dos Santos, he gets his infield debut this season at third base. This is popped up and way out of play.
Yeah, he does. And I mean, he's played the infield before. He's not a complete stranger to it. But with John Salazzo not available, Jose Vinicio not available today, they're turning to some other guys. And that's the reason that you have guys like Julian Johnson available off the bench.
And back-to-back strikeouts to start off this game for Castro. He has his pitch mix working here, and Maple Leafs, they love to see it. Marcos Castillo, he'll step up the center fielder here for the Brantford Red Sox.
And in the case of Dos Santos at third, like, he hasn't played the infield this season. That first ground ball to him is just really going to set the tone. It helps any infielder when you can start the game off and make that first play, get the nerves out of your system. And he's been in the starting lineup all year. He's no stranger to playing. It's just the third base side of this field here has been tricky for Salazzo, and he'll have to work it today.
Talked about that first ground ball, plays it to the backhand, throw across the diamond in time, and you said it, that first ground ball is going to be the most important one, and he makes the play like he's been a vet there his entire life. 3 up, 3 down for Castro, and we're heading to the bottom half of the first inning. Welcome back here to Dominico Field, and on the mound for the side of the Brantford Red Sox, it's Gregor Forkorsen. He'll have his start here for his side, and he'll look to try to shut down this Maple Leafs lineup. It's a very important game here for the side of the Brantford Red Sox. We mentioned in the pregame that they're trying to catch the Kitchener Panthers for that last playoff spot, and well, they're going to need a good start out of their starter here.
Yeah, and he's had a number of good starts this year. He's worked deep. His last outing against the Hamilton Cardinals, he went 7 1/3 and allowed just 2 runs, giving up 6 hits and just striking out 1. He's thrown 7 1/3, like I just mentioned. He had an 8-inning start against Welland earlier this season, and he went 6 1/3 against Barrie as well. So he's a guy who's been able to eat some innings, and along with Jeremiah Sucre and Josh Laukkanen, he's been a very, very effective arm for them on the mound this year.
And he's going to have a tough task here against the leadoff man, Ryan Dos Santos, who, well, he has just risen his on-base percentage so much in the last 3 games. He has 34 walks, 37 strikeouts, but the on-base, it's jumped from 422 to 476 in the last couple of games for Dos Santos.
And we mentioned him having to slide over to third base to cover Salazzo this game. Well, he's also new to the leadoff spot. Jose Vinicio, who's suspended and not able to play today. So they moved Dos Santos up. He's been getting on base at an outstanding rate, like you just mentioned. So why not put him up there with keeping Castaldo in the 2-hole, have Mara jump up to 3?
And Dos Santos is having a career year here in the IBL. Last year, he topped out 30 games, played 26 hits. This year, 45 hits and more extra base hits than he had in previous years. 8 doubles and 4 home runs. He's been a very big bat for the side of the Maple Leafs here early on. Gonna watch that one high, and what else is new? Ryan Dos Santos works himself a walk to start this ball game.
And that's why you want him at the top of the lineup. He's been getting on base. No better way to start a game for the Toronto Maple Leafs. The starter for Brantford, Farquharson, he's never faced the Maple Leafs. He's in his first year in the IBL with the Brantford Red Sox. He's had some success against the really, really good teams, Welland, London, Guelph, Barrie, like we mentioned. But he is yet to play the Maple Leafs, and of course that means he's yet to pitch here at Dominico Field, and we know for a fact sometimes Christy Pitts can be a little bit rough on opposing pitchers who haven't played here before.
And it'll be another tough task here. He has to go up against Jordan Castaldo, who is rocking a very lengthy streak. I'm trying to pull it up here on my logs, but he's also riding a pretty lengthy hit streak as well. He has been very, very good for the Maple Leafs in this 2-hole. Dos Santos takes off and popped up to deep center field, and it'll be caught. Dos Santos scurries on back to first.
Yeah, a good play there from the middle infielders on Brantford. Both faked the tag as if it was a ground ball to the left side, and he kept Dos Santos sliding into that second base bag. Now, the ball was just hit too deep, and Dos Santos is too quick. They couldn't double him up, but that's exactly what you want to do. Fake it until you make it, and you get him to slide there. That ball was a couple feet further in, and he wasn't as quick. Brantford would have had a chance.
Taking off once more to second is Dos Santos, and he's in there safe. The pitch was a ball, so ahead in the count here is Justin Morrow with a runner in scoring position. Oh, excuse me, it was called a strike.
Yeah, if it doesn't work the first time, try again. Dos Santos blazing speed out there. Man on second in scoring position for the top of the Leafs lineup. It's exactly how you want to start the bottom of the first.
Morrow watches the second one there for strike two. Justin Morrow been very good for the Maple Leafs as of late. Big cut fouls that one off. 3 home runs back against Chatham-Kent on August 3rd, and a home run last time out against Barrie. It was a 2-run shot. He went 1 for 3 in that ball game.
Yeah, he's found his power stroke lately, and it's something that he hasn't had much of the season. So for him to pull it up over the last week and a half or so has been very, very big for the Toronto Maple Leafs, who've been winning a lot of ball games recently.
Low and inside for a ball, and yeah, you're right. This team seems like they finally figured it out. It was a little bit of a story of when is everything going to start clicking, and it's finally been able to just kind of get settled down here for the Leafs. 1-2 count here, Tamara. You're going to watch another one low, missing ball 2.
And for Farquharson, he's a guy who, outside of one start in which he walked 6, isn't a guy who gives many free passes. He doesn't strike out many either, but outside of a 6-walk performance, 2 or 3 walks mainly the rest of the time.
Ground ball hit to second, taken on the hop, and Mara's just going to say, yep, you got me. And he's retired for out number 2. Dos Santos advances up to third on the play.
Marcus Connect, one of the many home run hitters it felt like in Toronto's last game here against Barrie, a massive 3-run home run to put them up late. He's another guy who's found a bit of power recently.
And that was a big day for Marcus Connect, who, well, he went 2 for 4 with a walk as well. And when you're able to get a bat like Marcus Connect's going, it's massive and it can really lengthen out a lineup. He watches that one go by for a strike.
And in games like this, when other veteran bats like Jose Vinicio and Jonathan Salazzo aren't available, well, Connect's another guy that you're able to easily slide in the 3-4 hole for the Leafs lineup. He's done it before numerous times.
Chases that one, foul tipped right into the catcher's glove.
And we've said it before, Marcus Connect has his most success facing fastballs. So for Farquharson, who we've already seen break off a couple good curveballs this top of the first, I wouldn't be shocked if he tries to bury one in the dirt here. 1-2 count, you don't have to throw a strike.
He's had to battle here against this top of the order for the Maple Leafs and trying to hold him at bay here. Get that go-ahead run standing on third for the Leafs. Connect now, 2-2, here's the pitch. Hits this to shallow right, but Fabian will be there to make the grab, and the inning is retired. The leadoff walk doesn't come around to score, and we're tied 0-0 heading into the second inning here at Dominico Field.
But back here at Dominico Field, Nick Burdett leading things off against Angel Castro. Burdett hits one to center field, and right in his tracks is Connor Lewis, who makes the catch.
And again, just like we saw in the first inning, Angel Castro, he's working very quickly against these batters. He wasted no time, only needing 8 pitches in that top half of the first, striking out 2 and a ground ball. Talked about it a little bit, how Castro tends to speed up, but the last 2 starts have been slowing things down. Well, it looks like he's right back to his normal ways.
Dorsian hits one on the ground. Down the line, that's a fair ball. He's lost his batting helmet and speeding for second base, and he's in there with a 1-out double.
Yeah, Dorsian couldn't have placed that any better than he did. That one right over the bag, down the third base line. Dos Santos tried to make a stab at it, couldn't reach. And with his speed, he makes it all the way over there to second.
Well, Kieran Bowles is the batter with Jarrett Lupton on deck. Bowles has driven in 9 runs and trying to cash in Dorsian at second base, and the first pitch is just outside from Castro. And now Castro in his last 2 starts has operated to an ERA of 0.69. Here's the 1-0 to Bowles. 15 strikeouts over that stretch as well.
15 strikeouts and only 2 walks. He's really just been filling in the strike zone, and it's just been, Angel Castro. That's just what we've been seeing him perform at the highest of levels. 2
of the 3 balls that Angel Castro has thrown in this outing have come in this at-bat here to Bowles, and it's 2-0. And that one's in the dirt, 3-0. Justamara popped out like he was trying to backpick that runner at second base, but there was no one home.
Looked like on that ball 2 call, Castro, he didn't really agree with it, thought it was a strike. Took a little bit of an extra second and tried to regain.
3-0 here to Kieran Bowles. Angel Castro has been really good in situations like this. And he finds the strike zone, 3-1. In each of the last 2 outings, Angel Castro has found himself in 3-ball counts in many situations, and he's only walked 2. He's been really good at keeping his composure in a situation just like this. Here's the 3-1 to Bowles. But that one's low, ball 4, so that's just the 3rd walk for Angel Castro in his last 3 starts.
And it looked like he was utilizing that breaking ball in the outside half a lot in that at-bat, and he just couldn't catch the outside corner. When Castro was at his best in those 2 starts, he was really just using both of his pitches very, very well, and he was sequencing extremely efficiently.
Here's a bunt laid down towards the pitcher. Castro fields it, throws to first in time to get the out. Good play from the veteran Angel Castro, and now there's 2 away.
Both runners will advance, but like you said, that's a great play to come off the mound, and we call those PFPs, pitcher fielding plays. Castro executed it to perfection.
Well, Jeremy Villa is a guy who you'd look at this lineup and you'd say probably shouldn't be hitting in the 8th spot. But the reason for that is because of the situation just like that. Jarrett Lupton, who's hitting just 189, gets the bunt down, and now there's 2 in scoring position for a guy who's hitting 275 and one of the better hitters on Brantford this season. This one's fouled off by Villa. Oh, 0-2. Angel Castro trying to keep this game scoreless. And it's up and in. Make sure you stick around after this inning. as we're going to have a conversation with the Maple Leaf down in the bullpen. We're going to talk to a couple Maple Leafs today. Dustin Richardson is one. And we're going to talk to Chris Nagorski as well. Let's do Chris Nagorski first in this game. Zach Benoit has already run down the hill, and he knows he's getting someone. He just doesn't know who yet. Here's the 2-2 from Castro. Swing and a miss, strike three. And Hal Castro works himself out of danger. To the bottom of the second we go. When we come back, Chris Nagorski joins the broadcast. All right, welcome back to Toronto Maple Leafs Baseball on YouTube. Joined now by Chris Nagorski from the Toronto Maple Leafs down in the bullpen. How you doing, man?
I am doing swell. It's a beautiful day for baseball despite the overcast. It means the pits is going to be a little bit cooler today.
Yeah, it feels like we just can't get a clean game here where we don't have any rain, but hopefully it holds out here today. Chris, what does your warm-up routine look like right now, just getting ready to go in the game?
Ooh, I don't know if you caught me slipping there at all, but I was just enjoying a walking taco. Did a little bit of on-field maintenance before the game, so that loosened me up a little bit. But then need to grab a little bit of a bite because I'm not going to pitch for likely another few innings. So got some time to just settle down a little bit, watch the game, cheer on the boys, and then start warming up if they ask me to come and pitch.
Yeah, I've seen you and Adam Mara. You guys always are doing a lot of work on the mound. What are you guys doing out there?
Well, we're actually trying to just create a little bit of slope on the mound itself. There tends to be a lot of dirt on there that kind of flattens things out. And given that this is probably the highest mound in the league, we want to try and get a little bit of downhill action so our guys can get out front on top of the baseball.
Connor Lewis grounds that one to second base, and there's one away. Chris, I know we're still kind of going through the mathematics of it right now, but it looks like you guys have clinched the final playoff spot in the Intercounty Baseball League right now. Obviously, you guys want to get a win here against Brantford, but things are looking quite good. Is it kind of a sigh of relief for you guys just knowing that you're going to go to the postseason?
It is, because during the middle stretch of this season, it was definitely a grind, and you could see that on the guys maybe pressing a little bit, but once that kind of happened, the veteran presence on the team, we settled everything down a little bit, just realized we could got to play good baseball, and then the bounces will start going our way, and we'll win a few more baseball games, and then the playoffs will be in sight, and then we just got to take care of business the rest of the way.
You guys have been in a situation a lot this season where you've had to play 3 games in 3 days. Not so much lately, but a lot early in the season, right? You're playing a Brantford Red Sox team that's doing that exact same thing. What's it like playing 3 games in 3 days?
I mean, for that stretch, you're basically playing that's like a major league schedule for that short amount of time. And generally, teams in the IBL aren't really built like that. I mean, it's still a working man's league. Got to go to work, get out to the games, and it puts a lot of pressure on the guys to kind of show up and play. And even that third game, it's a hot day in the pits. It can be a little bit of a grind, and we just got to kind of fight through it, try to get through it as unscathed as possible. And then once that happens, things kind of start taking care of themselves.
Chris, I know you've had a ton of success in your IBL career. I mean, we talked about it a little bit on Leafs Weekly early in the season, but, just with the 5 championships with the Barrie Baycats, this team's going through some adversity this season, but I know that they still have championship aspirations. As a guy that's kind of been through it many times in the IBL before, what kind of stuff do you say to those guys in the bullpen?
Look, I mean, at the end of the day, you just got to kind of play good baseball, and we weren't doing that for a little bit, but things have cleaned up down the stretch here, and we know that that's when you want to be playing your best baseball or your most sound baseball. And then with the experience that we have going into those playoffs, we can leverage that to our benefit and make it, potentially a deep run. And that's what we're trying to do every year.
Chris, you guys won against Brantford last time out. You had a thrilling game against your former team in the Barrie Baycats here at home. Can you just take me through some of the emotions of that walk-off win against Barrie last time you guys were here?
Yeah, honestly, I think that's a testament to that the experience that we have and what we kind of talk through and the adversity that we've been. It kind of galvanizes the team, and guys start picking each other up and playing to win games and taking better at bats, throwing the ball a little bit better. And once that kind of comes together, bounces still start going our way. And I think we're owed a little bit of that throughout the stretch of the season here, and that's why you're going to see us pulling out some victories like that.
I don't know if anyone really knows what's going on with your pitcher, Angel Castro, all the time. He seems like a guy that just runs on pure energy, but he's been pitching really, really well lately. Can you tell me a little bit about what you've noticed about his pitching lately, maybe compared to the beginning of the season, and why he's having so much success? I don't know if you can put your finger on that.
Yeah, so I mean, he's kind of following a similar trend that he did the first year he pitched in the IBL a couple of seasons ago, where he just kind of needed to get his feet wet a little bit, get a feel for the mounds and the opponents and the hitters and their approaches, and then he starts building his arm strength back up, and then he starts finding his groove down the stretch. I mean, he's a veteran guy. He's pitched in the big leagues. He's pitched a lot of baseball in his life. He knows what it takes to get ready, and it just takes a little bit of time for him to get there. But once he gets going, he's one of the best pitchers in the league.
Before we let you go here, I just want to ask you about this Ryan Dos Santos walk saga that we saw going on recently. I don't know if, you've ever faced a guy that just happens to walk a lot at the plate. Is that something that you think opposing pitchers are thinking about at all when they see him come to the plate?
Yeah, they are. They know he's got a good eye, so they're not going to nibble around the plate as much with a guy like that. And so they know they have to attack him. And then once you kind of get that mentality, it's like, I got to throw this kind of more or less in the middle of the plate for him to even consider swinging at it. It gets in the heads of pitchers, and then they try to get a little bit too fine, and then they just have to throw some more pitches. And then that's when Santos gets better in the at-bat. And so they're just thinking about that. And then once that happens, he's seen some good pitches, and then when they're actually in the zone, swinging a good bat. So we'll take any way to get on base as possible.
Yeah, absolutely. Hey, Chris, great stuff. Thanks so much for stopping by, and we'll let you get back to watching the game and maybe coming in later.
Yeah, no problem. Thanks for having me.
Thanks, Chris. That's Chris Nagorski from the Toronto Maple Leafs. Good chatting with him. There's another long interview on the Toronto Maple Leafs YouTube channel. We talked to Chris Nagorski in, I think it was like April or on Leafs Weekly, and he had some really cool stuff to say. And he's a guy as well that has some really, really good experience in the IBL, the all-time saves leader in Barrie Baycats history, and also won 5 consecutive championships out there with Jordan Castaldo, who's his teammate again here on the Toronto Maple Leafs. So awesome to have a chat with him, and we'll speak with Dustin Richardson a little later on as well. Maple Leafs have something going with 2 outs. Cole Murchison hits a single up the middle after he was the guy standing at the plate in the Maple Leafs walk-off win against the Barrie Baycats. Took the walk-off walk, if you will. And then Julian Johnson finds his way on first base via the walk. So now it's Charlie Towers at the plate. Here's the 1-0. Towers takes inside, 2-0. Ryan Dos Santos is on deck. He actually didn't walk at all against Brantford last time out, but he got 3 hits instead. So he has raised that batting average and just keeps smashing the baseball. And Towers hits this one hard, but right to second base. Kieran Bowles is right there, and he makes the catch. And that'll do it for the Maple Leafs. They get a couple runners on here in the bottom of the second, but do not score. To the third we go here at Dominico Field. Back here at Dominico Field, Roger Keane leading things off for the Brantford Red Sox. Keane is the number 9 hitter, hitting 174 on the season for Brantford. And then back to the top of the order with Matthew Fabian. The 1-0 from Castro, this one sliced down the line, and the wind is not going to help that one out at all. It's well up onto the hillside.
Yeah, you think we're feeling the wind up there? It is very brisk down there. You're feeling it heavily when you're down there.
It is a chilly day at Dominico Field, believe it or not, as Keane fouls another one straight back.
Castro in 2 innings of work. I mean, the fact that he's thrown what? I'm trying to count the numbers here, do quick maths. 25 pitches?
Yep. 17 plus 8, good job.
Thanks. Math's never my strong suit, but the fact he's throwing 26 now and he's headed into the third, I mean, that's just sensational efficiency out of Castro.
That's every single IBL broadcaster that maybe is listening to this knows exactly what we're talking about when you're trying to add up the pitches. Swing and a miss, strike 3. And how Castro got him way out in front of that off-speed pitch.
That's great. First time through the order, Castro, 4 strikeouts. And I mean, he has been sensational, to say the least, to start this ball game off. Started the game off with 2 strikeouts, and he ends the front 9 with 1.
So back to the top of the order, Matthew Fabian. And Fabian takes a strike over the outside corner.
Fabian went down swinging last time.
And now Castro has looked good on the mound for Brantford so far, and a swing and a miss, strike 2. Castro already with 4 strikeouts as that throw back to him goes awry. He'll reset here in an 0-2 count.
The 4 strikeouts, but again, it's the 19-9 strikes to ball ratio that's just been so impressive to start the lease. He's pumping the zone.
The 0-2, was that fouled off?
I think it was fouled off the knob of the bat.
Yeah, it came off the bat really funny there, but he wasn't wringing his hands out or anything like that, so seems like it hit wood. Still 0-2 Castro's got him right where he wants him. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Yeah, you could see that coming there, and how Castro's feeling himself right now.
Yeah, when I was down there, when he got out of the inning striking out, view last time, the little shimmy and shake coming off the mound.
That's how you know Castro is feeling good. And if he has a good start right here, that might be his last start before the playoffs, or maybe he'll pitch next Sunday. It's tough to say. It all depends, I guess, when the playoffs start. But if he has a good start right now, he's getting hot at the right time for the Maple Leafs. The 0-1, that just misses. Castro wanted it, and now the throw gets away from him again.
There were a couple pitches in that second inning that Castro wanted, more specifically against Kieran Bowles, and he showed his frustration, but he bounced back beautifully, got the sac bunt out, and then the strikeout to end the inning.
That one's in there for a strike. A really strong wind starting to blow in straight from center field. And we may get some rain here in the next 15 minutes. And it could be such that we get a delay. Right now we have a squall warning in effect in about an hour. And that will send people running for the clubhouse if that hits us. Here's the 2-2. Here's a ground ball. Charlie Towers scoops it up at shortstop and throws to first to Cole Murchison, who is there, and that will end the inning. Another strong one from Angel Castro as we head to the bottom of the third here at Dominico Field. Swing and a miss, strike 3. 2-2. Swing and a miss, strike 3. A full count. Strike 3 called over the air. Breaking ball popped up. Charlie Towers is going to get his first bit of action over there at second base, and he makes the catch, and there's 2 away. The breaking ball, and he got him. Lost 3 of their last 4 games. There's the team right now. There's a check swing, and he went around. This is a broken bat flare to Charlie Towers. That's 2-2 on Jacob. Check swing and 2. And he's back to his old tricks. 2-2. Fastball, and he got him. 2-2 to Jones. He checked his swing and he went around. And Alvarado has another strikeout. He went back to the breaking ball this time and he's got 12. Ryan Dos Santos leading things off. We are holding down computers, laptops in our tent. Pens are blowing off the table. It is getting hectic here at Dominico Field. We're at the top of the hill, so we get this wind that just ramps up the hillside and blows our tent away. Luckily, we have 4 crew members with their hands in the air ready to save the day. Ground ball to third base, and Dos Santos is thrown out. Good play there by Jarrett Lupton.
Yeah, Gregor wasted no time there. Last time up, Dos Santos, he walked, and he wasted no time. He went 3 straight strikes at him, Dos Santos, and he hits that one, just a chopper to third base.
to bring Jordan Castaldo to the plate. He's raised that batting average up over 300 again this year. Justin Mara is in the 3-hole. He's on deck. Here's the 1-0 to Castaldo, and it's at the top of the zone for a strike. The 0-2, swing and a miss, strike 3. Jordan Castaldo goes down on 3 pitches, and that brings up Justin Mara with 2 away. The Barrie Baycats last time they were at Dominico Field, Justin Mara had one of those.
Mara's been swinging a red-hot bat as of late, and you know the vibe around the team, you know, with the offense, it's been clicking. They have been just on a great path going forward lately.
There's a strike over the outside corner. Farquharson starting to feel it a little bit on the mound here for Brantford, trying to get through this 1-2-3 inning. And he just missed. He thought he had it, but he just missed. And it counts 1-2. Farquharson has pitched 37 innings for Brantford this season and earned an average of 4.38. Just 29 strikeouts over that stretch. He's kept the defense on their toes. Mara fouls it straight back. Here's the 2-2. Up and away, 3-2. And all of a sudden, Justin Mara has worked himself into a 7-pitch at-bat.
Really patient at the plate here is Mara, and he's seen the ball really, really well right now.
Full count pitch, up and away, ball 4. Well, Farquharson thought he had him on an 0-2 fastball in the outside corner, didn't get the call. Justin Mara battles and finally works a walk, and here's a guy with lots of power in Marcus Connect.
Yeah, and Farquharson, you know, he was trying to get through his first clean inning. He got the first 2 out relatively quickly, and he was ahead 0-2 against Mara, but Mara worked a beautiful count and in his favor. Worked the walk.
Marcus Connect hooked that home run down the left field line against the Baycats. And he might have just done it again, but it's foul.
Looked like an off-speed pitch that he swung at. You can tell just where it landed that he was really out in front of it. But again, Marcus Connect, he's been putting good swings on the ball. He lined out to right field his last time up. Again, it was a good piece of hitting. It was just right at the defender.
Now he takes in the dirt. Marcus Connect is starting to get a hold of a couple breaking balls, isn't he? The 1-1 misses just outside, and Connect is ahead in the count. The 2-1 fouled off.
Connect, again, multiple good swings here in this at-bat, and I think the main thing is he's staying back on the ball. We saw a couple times when breaking balls with him, he might lunge out a little bit forward, but the last couple of swings he's had over the last week and a bit, it's been solid. He's been keeping all of his power generated in that back leg, and then he's unleashing it into the swing.
Here's the 2-2 to connect. And he takes strike 3 called on the outside corner. Nice job by Farquharson to work through a little bit of adversity there in that bottom of the 3rd inning as we head to the 4th here at Dominico Field. Well, this is the situation right now for the Brantford Red Sox. They need to win. This is what they have remaining on their schedule. Kitchener is the only team that they can catch. This game against the Toronto Maple Leafs is statistically, other than the game against Kitchener, their best chance to win. They have one more game that hasn't been scheduled yet against Kitchener. That was a rainout game, but other than that, it's tough. Welland, Barrie, and Guelph, all very hard teams to beat, and Brantford's going to have to win at least 2 of these final 5 games to give themselves a chance at making it into the playoffs. And this is what's happening on the other side of things for Kitchener. This is the team they're chasing. This is their #1 target right now. They have to win, then they might have a very, very big game against Kitchener on the final day of the season, if that game needs to be played. They probably won't play it if they don't need to play it. We saw that was a situation that happened with the Maple Leafs last year. But this is must-win time right now for Brantford. Like, the playoffs start right now for the Brantford Red Sox.
For the Red Sox, it should be interesting to see, you know, like how they can end off the season, and they're playing a good game here today against the Toronto Maple Leafs. We kind of highlighted it in the pregame a little bit that they needed to, you know, this was one of the first of many of very important games, and they're playing very well to start things off. Now, credit also Angel Castro. He has been shutting them down offensively. So if Brantford wants anything to happen or to try to win here, they need to start something.
Line drive by Castillo, right to the second baseman, Dan Mara.
Now batting for Brantford, the first baseman, number 25, Nick Burnett.
So I see in the chat here a message from the Bushman, Eric Earl. Congratulations on tying the knot, man, and hope you're enjoying your time out in Timmins, Ontario. That's from the Bushman.
I was gonna say it's a little bit quiet today. We're only seeing
I know.
over there. I was kind of.
We're missing you out here, Bushman. Dionysius Chialtis, I see you in the chat as well. Hope you're enjoying your time out at university. Here's the 1-1. Or I guess it's college baseball, right?
College, university, yeah.
University's kind of a Canadian thing.
Yeah.
Here's the 2-1, and Burdett fouls it off. Nick Burdett in a 2-2 count here against Castro, who's been rolling for the Maple Leafs so far. one's in the dirt.
42 pitches in this one for Castro through 3 1/3.
Yeah, not particularly efficient, but that's never been a big problem for Angel Castro. Topped out at 142 pitches in a game against London 2 years ago in the finals. And Nick Burdett will take the walk. That's just the second walk for Castro. Dorsian will come to the plate here with Kieran Bowles on deck. Bowles has the other walk in the game against Castro. And Mike Dorsian is the only guy with a hit against Downhill Castro so far this game as well. Trying to keep the line going here for Brantford in the fourth. And that was way up and in, and that one hit him. That one caught Dorsian up high, just grazed him along the arm. And there's 2 on in the top of the fourth. Brantford Red Sox 2 games out of the final playoff spot in the Intercounty Baseball League. It's still very doable. They got 5 games remaining, so does Kitchener. But situations like this is the time when they need to drive in a run. And Kieran Bowles, who's hitting .252 on the season with 9 RBIs, they're going to be looking for him to come up clutch right here. Jarrett Lupton, who's on deck, is hitting .189, and he laid down a pretty good bunt in his last at-bat. So if Bowles can do something here, maybe that's in play again.
If Castro can just get something on the ground here, throw a double play, that would be massive to get out of this inning. Because again, when you look around the IBL, there's going to be a lot of scoreboard watching today, not only for Brantford's side, but for the side of Toronto. Because Chatham-Kent, they're still down 3-0 against the Guelph Royals.
Yeah, Chatham just tacked on a run, so it's 3-1 now. They got a tough schedule coming up. 3-1 in the Barrie Baycats game. That's against Kitchener, so Barrie's brought one back. That game's in the top of the fourth. Here's the 1-0. In the dirt. 2-0 on Kieran Bowles, who's worked himself into a favorable count. The 0-2 from Castro, and it's fouled off. But Kieran Bowles knew that Angel Castro did not want to get into another 3-ball count, and he just missed a pitch to hit.
Yeah, good by Castro to elevate that fastball. Bowles chased it, and you mentioned he just missed it.
Castro trying to find the zone again. The 2-1 popped up on the infield. Ryan Dos Santos calls for it, and the new third baseman makes the catch, and there's 2 away. Now the bunt is not really in play with Jarrett Lupton. Although you wonder if with Ryan Dos Santos, who we haven't seen play third base at all this season, we haven't even seen him play on the infield this season. Wonder if they might test him down at third place. He's playing very deep at third. Jeremy Villa, remember, is the on-deck batter. The Brantford Red Sox have this lineup structured so that he comes up with runners in scoring position, and they're 1 batter away from getting him in that situation again. Lupton at the plate. 2 runners on, and he'll call time. Maybe trying to ice Angel Castro there on the mound. You almost wonder if the Maple Leafs might call time as well to see if Jarrett Lupton's squaring a bunt.
Yeah, it'd be interesting here, especially to see if he puts down that bunt.
First pitch upstairs, and he wasn't squaring.
It's also tough. You know, if you're gonna put down a bunt, you gotta make sure you get down that line with 2 outs.
The 1-0 hit hard right to Towers. He goes to second and gets the easy out, and Castro gets out of it. Still 0-0 here at Dominico Field as we head to the bottom of the 4th. Connor Lewis will lead things off for the Maple Leafs. Talked to Connor Lewis after that game against the Barrie Baycats, and I asked him, were you thinking about hitting a home run in a one-run ball game, trying to tie it up in the 8th? He said, no. I don't hit home runs. But he's at 2 of them this year. They've both been big, and that was the shot that tied it 9-9, and without that swing, the Maple Leafs would have lost that game to the Barrie Baycats, and the outlook on what's possible right now for the Maple Leafs would be a lot different. Here's a ground ball to third, picked by Lupton, throw to first, up the line. Connor Lewis is gonna make the turn and head for second base, and he's in there.
Yeah, that was a tough play right there. Burdette at first, he came off the bag, but credit to Lewis, as he got past Burdette, he toe tapped first base, and then he kind of slipped a little bit, but it was like making a sharp turn on ice. He slid and turned on the Jets going to 2.
I don't know if that took a hop that Lupton was not expecting at third, but he fielded that ball in a bit of an awkward way, and that made the throw to first quite challenging. And that wasn't a put it in your back pocket kind of play. That was he had a shot to get him at first base. The throw was just offline. Well, here's Dan Mara. Mara lays down a bunt. It goes right back to the pitcher. The play's at first, and it's a good one by Farquharson. So Maple Leafs playing a little bit of small ball, and here's a guy that can hit a sacrifice fly here in Cole Murchison. We've seen him put the ball in the air, and that's exactly what the Maple Leafs are looking for from him right now.
Yeah, and last time up, he had a single right back up the middle, so he's seen the ball well so far today, and he's doing a good job.
Yeah, up the middle is wide open right now, if he wants it again. And he pops it up, but that one's out of play. Cole Murchison, the walk-off walk hero. Last time the Maple Leafs were at Dominico Field, and he checks his swing, and it's confirmed by the third base umpire. That pitch was low, and the count's 1-1. Farquharson trying to get through a fourth inning of work. Out time he went around, he chased at that Farquharson breaking ball in the dirt. Gregor Farquharson went 7 1/3 innings against the Hamilton Cardinals in his last outing. This one's hit in the air, but that one's not quite far enough. It's on the infield, and now there's 2 away.
He did what he wanted to do, but it just didn't get enough power on it. It was underneath it too much, and with the wind pushing in, that was not going to sail that far.
Well, he's going to put the pressure on Julian Johnson now, trying to make that Dan Mara bunt count and cash in a run. Still nothing. Both pitchers have been quite sharp for both Brantford and Toronto so far. You know, the Brantford Red Sox this season, they've been a little bit snake bitten when it comes to one-run ball games. They lose by 1 against the Toronto Maple Leafs in their last game, which would have completely changed the complexion of their season, really. If they had won that game, they would have been 1 game out of the final playoff spot. Maybe they would have had a little bit of momentum going into that game against Kitchener if they won that game. I mean, there's a lot of scenarios that could have happened, but Brantford's lost a lot of one-run ball games this season.
Yeah, a team that's definitely been improving over the years. And I mean, we talked about it last year. You know, they started it off very, very slow and then kind of started picking things up. And even this year, they've drastically improved. Gotten better and better as the season has come along. And like you said, it's just been unfortunate in some of these one-run ball games.
Farquharson gets the strikeout, and the Maple Leafs leave a runner in scoring position here in the bottom of the 4th. To the 5th we go. We'll be right back. Well, the Toronto Maple Leafs right now kind of eyeing up the Chatham-Kent Barnstormers. You saw there trailing in their game 4-1 to Guelph. They've got a tough schedule coming up. Chatham-Kent lost last time out at home, which they don't have a lot of home games left. And the Maple Leafs, if they win today and Chatham-Kent loses, all of a sudden the Maple Leafs are half a game out of 6th place in the IBL. And what does that do for them? Well, it lines them up with the London Majors instead of the Barrie Bay Cats.
Yeah, and it's very interesting to see, you know, with how things are shaping up. The Maple Leafs, they're playing a lot better brand of baseball as of late, and they've played London very well this year, but also a team they played really well is the Guelph Royals.
This one's a line drive into the outfield. Jeremy Vieux comes up and gets a solid base hit, and that's what the Brantford Red Sox wanted when they had runners on base last inning. Instead, it's a leadoff single. And remember, the Chatham-Kent Barnstormers will be here for the final game of the season. That's next Sunday. And could that be a game that has impact?
Some good matchups happening next Sunday.
A swing and a miss. I don't know. I mean, the Maple Leafs, they beat the Barrie Baycats last time out, but it was also kind of a short-handed Baycats team. The Maple Leafs got to a point where the Barrie Baycats literally had one pitcher left in their bullpen. This is a line drive to center field. Lewis coming in, but he's not going to get there in time. 2 singles to lead off the top of the 5th inning for Brantford, and they have something going here in the 5th.
Yeah, and you know, Castro, he wants those 2 back. Those are 2 really not that hard hit singles from the bottom half of the order. Now you have the top of the order coming up, which granted Castro has fairly dominated. Matt Fabian 0 for 2 with 2 strikeouts.
Fabian scoring to bunt.
I feel like that might have been just to see who's crashing in. We saw Dos Santos stay put at 3rd, and Murchison was the one crashing in. So in the mind of Fabian, if he's able to pull one down this 3rd baseline on the bunt, it might work.
Bunting again, goes right back to the mound. Murchison bobbles it, now he has it, throws to first, not in time. The bases are loaded with nobody out for Brantford here at the top of the 5th. And this is a season-changing moment right here for the Brantford Red Sox. They need to cash in on this opportunity to keep their playoff hopes alive, really.
Yeah, they've been getting a really good pitcher performance out of their starter, and if they can try to strike something across here against a guy who's been pitching very well against them, you know, it'd be massive, not only just for this game, but like you said, for the rest of their season.
And again, Brantford Red Sox don't need to win out. A lot of it's going to depend on what the Kitchener Panthers do, because their fate is kind of in the Panthers' hand after their 4-3 loss to them in yesterday's game. But one of the games is against Welland, who's in 1st. One's against Barrie, who's in 2nd, and one's against Guelph, who looks like a really tough first-round matchup for somebody, and they're in 4th. And then they have this game against the 7th-place Leith team, and the other one's against the 8th place and the team they need to beat in Kitchener. So the window of opportunity is open now for Brantford. The 1-0 up high, 1-1. Here's the 1-1 pitch to Wilson, and he finds the zone, does Angel Castro over the outside corner. "60 pitches in, Angel Castro here in the top of the 5th. Bases loaded, nobody out. Gus Wilson hitting .301 on the season at the plate, and the pitch is up high, and the count's 2-2. Their statistically best hitter, Marcos Castillo, is on deck. But Gus Wilson has historically been the best hitter over the last 2 seasons for Brantford. Here's the 2-2. Swing and a miss, strike 3. And Angel Castro giving himself a chance here at the top of the 5th.
That's a massive strikeout for Castro. Ground ball, double play, ends the inning. Looks like the corners will still stay in. They're going home if it's to them. And the middle infield, they'll play for that double play ball.
Marcos Castillos hitting .339 on the season. Comes to the plate with the bases loaded and 1 out. The first pitch is way outside as Angel Castro reached back for a little extra on that fastball. Castillo playing his 15th game with Brantford this season. strike.
It's a big comeback pitch. He went with the fastball in the first pitch, and that one looked like a breaker on the outer half. So establishing the outside corner early here in this at-bat.
Castillo will have some speed running down the first base line should he hit a ground ball. But he's behind in the count 1-2. Angel Castro has had great strikeout ratios this season. We'll see if he's chasing that here. The 1-2 up high, and it's 2-2. Castillo wouldn't chase.
And that could be a good setup pitch here for a breaking ball in the outer half. If he can break one off, low and away, Castillo's eyes, they're looking high right now. If he sees one start up high and then break low, it might get him to chase.
Here's the 2-2. Ground ball, but that one's foul. The Maple Leafs are not playing in on the infield. They're looking for a double play to second to first. Murchison is creeping in at first base a little bit. He might come home. Angel Castro will have to scamper off the mound to get to first base if the ball is hit to Cole Murchison. So that might be in the head of the Maple Leafs a little bit right now. Here's the 2-2. And it's hit in the air pretty deep down the left field line. And it's foul. Foul by maybe a foot. It was over top of the foul pole. And the Maple Leafs may have just caught a bit of a break there. That was a close call down the line. That would have been that was a 4-run swing right there by Castillo, separated by 1 foot.
That might be the closest foul ball we've seen over that left field fence. The umpire, he was right on it. He ran to the line immediately, and funny enough, not sure if you noticed it, but third baseman Ryan Dos Santos, he also was watching it down, and he threw up his hands as well.
Yeah, that would have been the first career IBL home run for Marcos Castillo. It would have been a grand slam to put his team up 4-0. And now he checks his swing, and he went around. Strike 3. What a shift of momentum in the ballgame. Castillo thought he had a grand slam, and then he strikes out. And now the Brantford Red Sox are going to need Nick Burdett to come up with a 2-out base hit to avoid stranding the bases loaded and nobody out. Nick Burdett has a home run against the Maple Leafs this season. And believe it or not, it came against Taylor Lepard. He's playing professional baseball now. It's almost the only blemish that was on Lepard's record for his short stint with the Maple Leafs. Brantford Red Sox would take one of those right now. A check swing, foul ball, and the count's 1-1. Burdett slashes one to the left, and he's got himself in a 2-strike count. There will be a charge of energy sent through Christie Pitts by Angel Castro if he can get Nick Burdett right here. The 1-2, up high. Tried to get him to chase. Nick Burdett hitting .246 on the season with 4 home runs and 23 RBIs. Here's the 2-2 pitch to him. Fouled off. Burdett had a big cut at it. Castro trying to get out of bases loaded, nobody out. And it's in the dirt. And the count runs full. Angel Castro taking his time here. This is a big pitch. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Burdette, the power hitter at the plate. There go the runners. And the pitch, a line drive into the outfield. Connor Lewis coming in. He's not going to get there. That one's down for a base hit. That's going to cash in a run. And the Brantford Red Sox have taken the lead. 2 runs come in to score. The runner Fabian at second base had his hold his ground there to make sure that ball didn't get caught as he was going on the pitch. And Brantford gets a huge 2-out hit from Nick Burdette. Well, Sam Green's going to come to the mound and chat here with Angel Castro. And Sam Green, I believe, also is the acting manager today. Toronto Maple Leafs had a couple suspensions in the game against the Barrie Baycats that are coming into effect here. And Rob Butler was one of them. He's suspended for 3 games. Jose Vinicio for 1, and 3 games for Mike Chiquetto. Well, it's been a small sample size for Mike Dorsian, but it's been really good. In 29 at-bats, he's hitting .500. He got himself to that point with his base hit a couple innings ago. Oh, 0-1 to Dorsian. That one's just outside, 1-1. 79 pitches now for Angel Castro as that pitch count continues to climb. Here's the 1-1. Castro ahead in the count. Still 2 on base here for Brantford. They had bases loaded, nobody out. Castro got a couple outs and a single to Nick Burdette, cashed in 2. That pitch misses low. The wind has shifted here at Dominico Field. He saw that Max Castillo foul ball that was nearly a grand slam almost go out of the ballpark. Well, the wind is starting to blow straight out to left field now. Castro's pitch in the dirt. And he's got into another full count. Now you think fatigue is probably starting to set in a little bit here for Castro. He's at 81 pitches, and a lot of them have come here in this top of the 5th inning. Dorsian, the hottest hitter for the Brantford Red Sox right now. Castro with the 3-2 pitch. Swing and a miss, strike 3. So 2 runs do come in to score for Brantford, but Angel Castro gets a big out right there. Brantford leading by 2 against Toronto. We'll be right back. All right, welcome back to Toronto Maple Leafs Baseball on YouTube, brought to you by MNP. Pleased to be joined now by Dustin Richardson, who's down in the bullpen for the Maple Leafs. Dustin, how you doing?
We're good. How you doing?
Not too bad. A bit windy up here in the broadcast booth. We're holding it down, but so is your pitcher, Angel Castro, right now. I know that was a big strikeout to get out of that inning.
Yeah, he's battling. It usually comes down to the little things. You know, we get an out. You got to get an out when they put a button down. We get that out that we're out of that inning with no damage done. So, you know, we just got to do the little things, and the rest will take care of itself. But he's battling out there. He's fighting.
Dustin, the best the Brantford Red Sox could do right now with 5 games left is tie you guys in the standings. So it means that you guys are going to the postseason. Is there any kind of relief of just having that playoff spot locked up?
You know, the job's not done, but you know, it's good that we're showing some life towards the back end, and we're taking care of some things some mistakes that we're making pretty much for the whole season. We're showing more consistency with pitching, hitting, and defense wise. So, you know, I'm optimistic that you know, we should secure a spot and then hopefully have a good playoff run.
Dustin, I know it's kind of a unique scenario, right? You're a veteran down in the bullpen. You got a wide range of different guys down in that bullpen. You know, university guys, young guys, people who are closer with your level of experience. But I mean, there's nothing like playing in Major League Baseball. What kind of conversations do you have with the guys down there in the bullpen?
You just keep it human with them. You just have a good, comfortable conversation with them. Excuse me. And you know, there's no difference in a sense that how you prepare and the confidence that you need to. Even myself, if I go out there and don't prepare myself, I mean, these guys could get the better of me even. So, you know, we have conversations on how to prepare yourself as soon as you wake up when you wake up for the day, as you drive to the ballpark, and as you warm up. You know, it's the little things, the visualization, and positive self-talk that all play a part when you cross the mountain or cross the line to step on that mountain and take care of business. So, you know, anything I could do to help with these guys, you know, I'm happy to be here and do that for them.
Speaking of that, I know, Dustin, you were kind of dealing with a bit of a hamstring issue that's kind of been nagging at you lately. How are you feeling right now?
We're good. We tried to come back a little early in London, 10 days after it popped on me. So probably wasn't the best idea. But so that set me back a little bit. Feels good now. Don't feel anything, so we're not going to rush it. We have another week. So this is a big week for me. We're going to throw some live BP and get some kids and, you know, and just prepare ourselves for the playoffs. So we're ready.
Yeah, I know, you know, in that game against London, it's kind of tough to come out of a game after one pitch, right? But was that kind of a thing where you're thinking, you know, we got bigger fish to fry here kind of thing?
What's London? I don't care for London or, you know, a few other teams. So, you know, I want to go in there and at the time we needed to win some games to get in that playoff picture. So I rushed it back a little bit, and I thought I could go out there, but unfortunately it grabbed on me, and then I'm just you know, the competitiveness in me, you know, just it gets the better of me at times, and so I learned my lesson hopefully, and you know, hopefully heads up back there, Thomas. There you go. And hopefully you know, hopefully everything's good. You know, I don't feel anything right now, but you never know until you're in the moment, and because everything's a little amped up once you cross the line and you face a hitter. So we'll see.
I'm not sure how locked in on this kind of stuff you guys get, but there's still a lot that's wide open with the playoff picture. I mean, there's a lot that could happen in the top of the standings, and there's a lot that could happen with you guys as well. Do you guys care about who you face in the first round?
No.
Is that something you look at?
I don't care who we play. I just tell the guys, just wake up, be ready to play, and worry about yourselves. The rest will take care of itself. We know what we're capable of doing. We know the arms that we have. We know the lineup that we have. I think other teams know that as well. but it just comes down to consistency, right? That's what it comes down to, and we're starting to show that more of late. So hopefully we can build some momentum and just take that into the playoffs, and we can make a nice run.
What's the biggest thing that you've liked lately about the Maple Leafs play?
So there, resiliency. It's easy. We could have folded and just kind of wrote off the season, but I think the guys who we stayed up in the clubhouse. There were some low moments, but guys like Castro, high energy, holding people accountable, holding each other accountable, is a big deal. It's those little things that keep you going, and just the resiliency. Hang on here, let's see what happens here. Yeah. But it's just the resiliency the guys are showing. Instead of before we give up a lead and just kind of settle there, but now we battle back and put up some runs and we hold it. So you're starting to see the guys fighting a little bit, and you see the energies there and the consistency's there, and it's baseball's fun again. And I think guys are starting to feel that. So yeah.
You and Angel Castro are the two guys who have had that unique experience of playing Major League Baseball. Do you guys talk about that at all?
No. Well, yes and no. I mean, if I hold anybody more accountable on this team, it's Castro, because I remind him he's a big leaguer. He knows better in certain situations. He knows to get ahead, work ahead on guys. He knows certain pitches to make, how to, so I hold him accountable, and he does the same for me. I hear him when I pitch. I hear him hollering at me. So, it's the little things. The high level pitching is his first pitch strikes, get ahead, stay ahead, try to get out with every pitch, and then trust your defense and trust your stuff. So, so I hold him to a higher standard than most of the rest of the guys. But, so yeah.
Hey Dustin, it's always a pleasure chatting with you, and thanks so much for stopping by. And we'll let you get back to it.
All right, Thomas, appreciate it, brother.
All right, thanks, Dustin.
Yep.
Well, that's Dustin Richardson there, one of the better guys to talk to in the Intercounty Baseball League if you're looking for incredible baseball experiences. A couple of years with the Boston Red Sox playing Major League Baseball, and just a very lengthy minor league career as well for DR. Well, this is Justin Mara at the plate for the Maple Leafs, and look who's worked himself into scoring position. It's Ryan Dos Santos again. He's out at second. After a Jordan Castaldo strikeout, Justin Mara trying to work himself back in it. Justin Mara takes outside. Two outs in the inning. This is a great opportunity for the Maple Leafs to get one back. It looked like they were going to get out of bases loaded, nobody out, and then Nick Burdett came up with a clutch single with 2 outs in the inning. Farquharson trying to get himself through a 5th inning of work, but the count 3-1 here on Justin Mara. And he takes high ball 4, so the inning will continue, and here comes Marcus Connect. Marcus Connect hooked a ball down the left field line that nearly went for a home run, but the wind just kept pushing that one foul, and just trying to straighten it out in this at-bat. Connor Lewis is on deck, so this is a tandem of hot hitters right now for the Maple Leafs between Marcus Connect and Connor Lewis. I mean, you could feel a bit of a sigh of relief from Marcus Connect after that 3-run home run against the Barrie Baycats last time they were here. That felt like such a big momentum booster for him, just personally.
Yeah, and he's been swinging a lot better of a bat. We touched on it in his first plate appearance, but really just over the last couple of games, Marcus Connect has looked solid for the Maple Leafs, especially in that 4-5 area in the lineup.
And he hits this one to center field. The wind knocking this one down, and it's Marcos Castillo in center field who makes the catch. So the Maple Leafs get another runner on, but cannot score in the 5th. And to the 6th we go at Dominico Field. Well, pitch count's starting to get up there for Angel Castro, up over the 80 pitch mark, but here in the top of the 6th inning, and he could use a quick one here against these Brantford Red Sox hitters. Long inning for Angel Castro, and he was so close to getting out of it with bases loaded, nobody out, but Nick Burdett got him for a single, and it's 2-0 Brantford.
Yeah, and Castro, I was down there during that inning, and he made a really good pitch to Burdett. Burdett just got his hands to it, and it wasn't that hard hitting the center field. It was another one of those loopers, but for the 3rd hit in that inning, it was just another soft hit.
Pitch in the dirt, Kieran Bowles at the plate. Bowles was hit by a pitch last inning. That really set things up for Brantford. Here's the 2-1. Line drive, sinking into the outfield, and it's down. Kieran Bowles will touch some grass, and now there's one on with nobody out here for Brantford, and they've got something going again.
Yeah, Brantford 5 hits in this game, but I won't lie, I think the hardest one was that double down the line. Everything else has just been soft contact, really, off the bat of the Brantford Red Sox. They've just been placing them perfectly here over the heads of the infield.
Yeah, neither team has really hit much hard so far. Gregor Farquharson has been fantastic. 5 innings, 2 hits. He has walked 5, but he's managed to work around it with his 5 strikeouts. This is Jarrett Lupton. Which is in the dirt, and oh boy. Kieran Bowles thought about going, then he turned back, but that ball got very far away from Justin Mara.
Yeah, I guess at first glance, Bowles didn't really expect it to go that far away from Mara, and then as Justin went back to get the ball, Bowles realized it was as far, but it was just a little bit too late.
Last thing you want to do is, have some indecision and get thrown out, but that was an opportunity for 90 feet there for Brantford. This one's hit on the ground to first. Slow roller. Castro getting over there, and he's not in time.
That's just a tough play. That ball died on the grass relatively quick, and Lupton right there just used the wheels, and once he passed Murchison, it was a little bit too late.
Yeah, I'm not sure Angel Castro took it a direct route to first base there. He might have thought about playing that ball himself for a minute. And with Lupton's opposite field hitting potential, that meant that Dan Mara was very close to second base, even though it was a lefty batter, so he wasn't really in play to cover first either. Jeremy Villa had a single in his last at-bat. And look how this Brantford Red Sox lineup is structured. Once again, Villa coming up in an RBI situation.
Yeah, very smart for Brantford to just bring a guy that has such great potential here.
This time he hits it on the ground. 2nd for 1. Mara to first. Not in time. Maple Leafs will take the fielder's choice. Now there's runners on the corners, and things starting to get a little bit messy again here for Castro in the 6th.
Yeah, Roger Keane up to bat, and then he has the top of the order to face once more.
Angel Castro could really use a ground ball here if he's, just to give him a chance to come out for the next inning. But if things get prolonged here, this might be the last inning for Castro. And it's funny, things haven't been going great for Castro in these last 2 innings, but he's still pitching to 2 earned runs here against Brantford. Another great start. This one's hit on the ground. To 2nd for 1. To first. And it gets away from Murchison. A run comes in to score. And it's 3-0 Brantford Red Sox. It looked like the Maple Leafs may have been granted a gift, but it was a tough pick at first base for Murchison to try and get.
Yeah, it looked like Mara, when he had the ball, it didn't seem like he had enough time. It looked like he didn't think he had enough time to make the throw. When he looked up, he realized he did, and he rushed the throw a little bit. And it was just a little bit off.
So 2 outs. Castro trying to get through this inning. By the way, just one of the runs actually, and the one right there is earned to Angel Castro. The first 2 were unearned. Matthew Fabian is at the plate, and he swings through that pitch from Castro, and it's 0-2.
Yeah, there was an error on Murchison back in the 5th.
Yeah. The 0-2, swing and a miss. Angel Castro gets the strikeout. That's 8 for him on the day. And the Brantford Red Sox scratch across another run. They lead 3-0 over Toronto. Well, Toronto Maple Leafs Baseball on YouTube is brought to you by MNP, national in scope, local in focus. MNP is one of Canada's leading professional services firms, proudly serving individuals, businesses, and organizations since 1958. Connor Lewis hits this one in the air to left field, and plenty of room out there. Mike Dorsey is out there in left field for Brantford with Castillo in center and Fabian in right. One pitch, one out for Gregor Farquharson here in the 6th. A look at the out-of-town scores sees the Guelph Royals and Chatham-Kent Barnstormers tied at 4. That's a game that has significance for the Maple Leafs because Toronto is trailing Chatham-Kent by just 1.5 games for 6th place in the Intercounty Baseball League.
But you know the other game that's very interesting, the Kitchener Panthers are up 7-1 on the Barrie Baycats.
That is something that we didn't see coming, did we? But that's not good for Brantford. This one's hit on the ground to the 3rd, and it trickles foul. Dan Mara is the batter at the plate with Cole Murchison on deck.
Well, with how things are looking right now, Brantford, they're obviously wanting Barrie to come back in that one, but you know, them leading right now in this one, they're sitting all right.
Yeah, it's Marcel Lacasse who's on the mound for the Barrie Baycats right now against Kitchener. He was the last guy in the bullpen that was available for Barrie when they were here against Toronto. Or Ryan Lacasse, I should say. And he did an admirable job, but eventually things just got away from him in the 9th. Up the middle, and that's a single into center field for Dan Mara.
That just kind of looked like a typical Dan Mara at bat. You know, he battled back, even things up in the count, and then he just kept on working and looked like a little bit of a tomahawk chop to get that one up the middle.
A visit here to the mound for the Brantford Red Sox. That's one of their 6 that they get now in the Intercounty Baseball League. That's been a rule change that has been felt by nobody the whole season, I don't think. I haven't even thought about it, really.
There's been a couple of the rule changes where, you know, if you were to ask us if they were rules or not, we couldn't be able to tell you because it hasn't been that big of a factor. We thought maybe it might have been. I think the biggest one that I thought would have been more of a factor was the keeping 1 foot in the box at all times. And, you know, when you're watching the games, you don't really notice it.
Yeah, unless it's the foul ball. But, yeah, it just hasn't changed anything. Or it might also just not be being called. I haven't been keeping tabs on it that closely. I think the latter might be a little bit more likely.
I've seen it played where there's no picture.
There's the 1-0 in the dirt. I've heard some rumblings that a pitch clock is not too far away in the Intercounty Baseball League as well.
Interesting.
That would make things very challenging for the Maple Leafs, who don't really have a scoreboard that would be visible for that. So there's definitely some things to be ironed out, but I wouldn't be surprised if that's in the future in the IBL. I mean, we wouldn't mind that, right? Games ending at midnight aren't exactly the best thing.
Yeah, getting home by 1:30 to 2 a.m. Yeah, it's not fun.
3-1 on Murchison. That one finds his own as well. Farquharson was behind in the count 3-0, and now he's worked it back to full. The 3-2, Murchison drills it, but it's foul. Cole Murchison just missed one there.
And that's that power that, you know, we've talked about in Cole Murchison's bat that hasn't just shown up yet. Right there it did, just pulled it foul though.
The 3-2, swing and a miss, strike 3. Big strikeout there from Farquharson.
Number 25, Julian Johnson.
Julian Johnson comes to the plate with 2 away in the inning. Big swing and a miss, strike 1. Charlie Towers on deck for the Maple Leafs. Toronto has had 8 runners on base. They've left 7 on so far. Julian Johnson trying to turn that trend around.
They had a lot of opportunities in the early innings, and in the middle, it's been kind of just a little bit of a slumber for the Maple Leafs. They get one guy on and haven't really been able to get him into scoring position.
The 0-2, swing and a miss, strike 3. 2 big strikeouts for Gregor Farquharson, and he's got himself through 6 scoreless innings against Toronto.
Top half of the 7th here, and it's going to be Gus Wilson stepping up to lead things off for the Brantford Red Sox. Wilson 0 for 3 so far on the day, 2 strikeouts swinging. And obviously not the side that Castro wanted to be, trailing 3-0, but you can't really fault him. He's had a very solid game, and he's looked very, very good. Only 1 earned run allowed, another quality start. That's 3 in a row here for Angel Castro. Ground ball fouled. 1-2 count here to Wilson. Castro on the day, 9 strikeouts. Again, another fantastic performance. That one misses high and away. Starting to see a little bit of life over in the Maple Leafs bullpen. Looks like Adam Mara's just gotten up, getting a little bit loose. Same thing on the side of Brantford. Missing high, full count.
Yeah, Brantford Red Sox have got guys on in each of the last 2 innings, and both times it's resulted in a run.
Here's full count pitch from Castro. Big swing and a miss, strike 3. So just as he finished off the 6, he starts off the 7 with another strikeout.
Things getting interesting in the Innertown scoreboard. It's getting late between the Guelph Royals and Chatham-Kent Barnstormers. 8th inning, tied 4-4. Same thing with Barrie and Kitchener. It's still a 7-1 lead for the Kitchener Panthers over Barrie, who at one point this season, the Barrie Baycats were a game and a half out of first place, but I'm pretty sure if they lose today, it's all but wrapped up. The Welland Jackfish are going to take first place in the Intercounty Baseball League.
Yeah, I believe the magic number 4 Welland to clinch was 1.
Pop up. First base, it's Murchison who makes the catch.
Now batting for Brantford, first baseman number 25, Nick Burnett.
Nick Burdett, he had that big 2 RBI single the last time up, and that broke the scoreless drought we were in.
That's the big hit of the ball game for Nick Burdett. So 2 away. Castro's first pitch is high. It's worth noting, Pedro de los Santos is pitching for the Kitchener Panthers. He's got himself through, well, he's in the 8th inning right now. He threw 130 pitches. He's still on the mound right now. He's at 130 pitches for Kitchener.
Wow.
And he's holding Barrie to 1-run baseball. Count 3-0 here on Burdett. Right down the middle for a strike as Angel Castro finds the zone. Check swing. He went around. Nick Burdett threw the bat back towards the dugout thinking that was ball 4, and now he's going to have to come back to the plate. Kind of apologized to the home plate umpire. The home plate umpire said, "That wasn't my call." The 3-2, outside ball 4. Nick Burdett will draw his walk after all.
Now batting for Brantford, left fielder number 13, Mike Dorshin.
So far in this game, Dorshin, he doubled down the line. That was probably the hardest hit we've seen all day. Got hit by a pitch and struck out.
Dropped that batting average to 484. He's one of those guys that the Brantford Red Sox just need to keep going like he's been going if they want to get themselves into the playoffs. Although this Kitchener win over Barrie, if it happens, is going to really upset things. The 0-1 fouled off. If this wasn't already a must-win game, if Kitchener wins, Brantford has to win this game.
Yeah. And they're in a really good place right now to do so. 3-0, and the offense for the Leafs, it's been hard to come by. They just haven't been able to get that big-time hit just yet.
There's a big swing and a miss, and Angel Castro injects a little bit of energy on the mound. He's got himself through 7 innings, just allowed the 1 earned run, and now has 10 strikeouts on the mound for the Maple Leafs. Welcome back to Dominico Field. Charlie Towers leading things off for the Maple Leafs, and he's going to face Aiden Armitage, who's on the mound for Brantford. What a great outing for Gregor Farquharson. Towers hits it on the ground, and Armitage is going to get 2 pitches and 1 out here at the bottom of the 7th. Armitage an ERA of 7.90 this season for the Brantford Red Sox and 13 2/3 innings pitched. He struck out 11 batters to 9 walks. Final line for Farquharson: 6 innings, 3 hits, no runs, 5 walks, but 7 strikeouts.
Yeah, he was electric today for the side of Brantford, and it's what they needed. They needed that big start from him.
Ryan Dos Santos at the plate, and now ahead in the count 2-0. That's statistically the best outing for Gregor Farquharson in his IBL career. Hasn't had an outing where he's given up 0 earned runs, especially over 6 innings.
Yeah, he looked poised and like he had a plan against this Maple Leafs lineup.
But now you look at, this is going to be a tough matchup for Brantford if they do get into the playoffs, because they're going to play well, and that's the only team they could play. Assuming nothing crazy happens in the next 1 inning in the Barrie game. But Farquharson in his last 2 innings, he's done kind of the same thing that Angel Castro has done. 7 innings, 2 earned runs last time against Hamilton. Now he goes 6 innings, no earned runs today against Toronto. You pair that with Josh Laukkanen, who's also been really, really good this season.
Yeah.
I mean, things could go really well. And, it's just been pointed out as well, he went 8 innings against the Welland Jackfish the last time he faced him as well. Look who walked again.
You got to think with the streak that he's on, the on-base percentage has to reach 500, right?
Well, he's walked 3 times in this game. He didn't walk at all last game against Brantford, but he decided to just get hits instead. He got 3 of them.
Yeah.
He had 3 walks against Barrie, 3 walks against Guelph, and 6 walks against Chatham-Kent. So that means in his last 4 games, he has walked 15 times.
That's absurd.
I mean, we could go back and look, but if Farquharson didn't walk 5 guys today, I'll bet you that's more walks than the entire team combined.
Yeah.
Yeah, Farquharson walked 5 guys. 3 of them, or 2 of them were Dos Santos.
So
yeah.
3.
Well, no, one of them's right now.
Oh.
That was Armitage on the mound.
So, interesting enough, I was looking at the numbers, and man at the plate right now is 0 for 3 today.
Oh, is that streak still in play?
I believe so. He's on a big hit streak right now.
Yeah, Jordan Castaldo has been on an on-base streak that he's had going for the last 2 seasons as he hits this one on the ground foul to first base. And yeah, it's still going. I mean, we don't have the exact number here, but it's over 60 games of getting on base.
I think it's closing in on 70. He's on a lengthy hit streak right now, too.
Yeah, it is the bottom of the 7th inning. This might be the last at-bat for Jordan Castaldo.
13-game hit streak and about, yeah, like you said, they're like over 60 game on base.
The 1-2, swing and a miss, strike 3. And did one of the most incredible streaks in the Inter-County Baseball League just end. Justin Mara at the dish now for the Maple Leafs. Count 0-1. Mara hits it on the ground to first. Foul ball. Just foul down the line with Ryan Dos Santos going. That might have scored him from first base.
So if I'm looking at this correctly, June 25th of last year against Welland was the first time.
This one's into the outfield for a base hit. And Ryan Dos Santos is going to go first to third. The Maple Leafs have 2-1.
Good piece of hitting right there by Justin Mara. Worked it really, really well.
What'd you say, June 25th?
June 25th.
Yeah, so that's 71 games. 71 games in a row on base for Jordan Castaldo. The Maple Leafs are going to need to string together some hits to get him another at-bat.
And that's just impressive, really.
Marcus Connect trying to put a dent into this Brantford Red Sox lead. Guelph Royals and Chatham Kent Barnstormers in the 9th inning tied 4-4. Connect drills one to left field, and it's down and off the wall. That'll cash in a run. Justin Mara steaming towards third base. Marcus Connect into second with a stand-up double. The Maple Leafs have the tying run at second base, and they've cashed in one as well. It's 3-1.
That was a big swing for Marcus Connect, but I think a bigger play that happened right there was the shortstop cut the ball off going to third base. That was Gus Wilson. I don't think if Gus Wilson cuts that ball off, it would have been a very close play at third if Mara would have been safe or not. So that big play right there in the way of the Leafs' favor.
Now it brings up Connor Lewis, who has been in a situation like this before. This was the situation he was in against the Barrie Baycats. Trying an opportunity to tie the game. And he hit one over the wall to tie it 9-9 in the 8th.
Yeah, right here, all Lewis needs to do, he just needs to get a ball to the outfield. Nothing crazy, just good contact, good swings here.
The 0-1. Lewis takes up high. Aiden Armitage pitched in that. The last game the Maple Leafs played against the Brantford Red Sox gave up 3 earned runs over an inning against Toronto after he was on a great streak. Lewis drills it down the line, but well foul.
Yeah, he was way out in front of that one, but again, good swing on the ball by Lewis. He's just staying back right now, and the last couple of games he's played, he's had a fantastic swing.
Maple Leafs trying to get to Aiden Armitage again. One and 2 on Connor Lewis. Armitage needs this out right here. Lewis pops it up right near the mound. Armitage comes over and makes the catch himself. The Maple Leafs score 1, but we're really threatening in the bottom of the 7th inning, and we will head to the 8th. It's Brantford in a must-win game with a 3-1 lead. Well, this is what's happening out of town right now. Still 4-4 between Guelph and Chatham-Kent, and a 7-1 lead for Kitchener. On the ground, a third. Second bit of action, and it doesn't go well for Ryan Dos Santos. It's up the first baseline. And the leadoff hitter, Kieran Bowles, will reach base.
Fielded the ball nicely. It's just when he got the throw, he so used to making those long throws in the outfield, just kind of airmailed it a little bit.
Maple Leafs without their regular third baseman in John Salazzo. Not sure, it might just be an off day for Salazzo, but the Maple Leafs have, been dealing with a bit of a bug that's been going around the team as well. This one's hit on the ground towards third, and it's a bunt that's foul.
Yeah, very much could just be the case where Salazzo just was a little bit under the weather, couldn't make it to the ball game today. So, and then especially the fireworks that happened against Barrie, a couple of other players weren't available.
Yeah, so that's Jose Vinicio, Mike Chiquetto, and then their coach Rob Butler, all suspended from that game against Barrie.
Vinicio and Chiquetto, though, they are here today. When I was down there, Vinicio was behind the bench. He's actually behind there still right now, cheering them on. It's in the white shirt there, buddy. We're in the bleachers.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, there we go. I don't know if I've ever seen Vinicio just in street clothes before.
I didn't know who it was, but I heard a lot of cheering going on beside me in Spanish, obviously, and I was like, I've recognized that voice. Didn't recognize the person.
Soft liner into the outfield, and that one's going to fall. And it gets away from Johnson. Now he's going to throw it in quickly. Towers to third, not in time. Close play at third base, but clearly safe, and there's 2 on with nobody out, and this is kind of thwarting the Maple Leafs comeback attempt right here, as they're going to need to limit some damage here against Brantford. They have 6 outs to play with, and Julian Valdez has been running into some bad luck lately on the mound for the Maple Leafs. An error at third to start the inning, and then a very soft hit single to left field.
And again, it's kind of just been the story of the game for the Brantford Red Sox. Nothing against their hitters, but they haven't been able to get any hard contact, but they've just been placing them perfectly, just over the heads of the infielders or just in front of the outfielders. And to their credit, they've capitalized on every single opportunity they've had.
Yeah, they've got a little bit of help from the Maple Leafs too. They've made a couple of errors. 2 of the 3 runs that they've scored this game are unearned. And even though Toronto is clinched in that final playoff spot, they want to win.
Yeah.
I don't think you don't want to play the Jackfish in the first round. And, I think it's a point of pride for the Maple Leafs as well. If they could finish 6th after everything that's happened this season, I think that would give them a bit of a confidence boost. They do not want to finish 8th.
Yeah, and when you look at their last 10, I mean, there's only one other team in the league that's been as good as the Maple Leafs in their last 10, and that's the Welland Jackfish, who also were 7-3.
That pitch a strike. Jeremy Villa up again with runners in scoring position.
And I think also in the back of the minds of the Maple Leafs, they don't want to play Barrie again. I know they just came off that victory, but they snapped a lengthy losing streak that they had against the Barrie Baycats.
Up and in, and it hit him. Jeremy Villa is going to head down to first base. And the bases are loaded with nobody outs again for Brantford. It's Roger Keane coming to the plate.
Roger Keane, he's 1 for 3 so far. Strikeout, a single, and a fielder's choice in all 3 of his plate appearances. I think the key thing here for Valdez on the mound is just look for out number 1. Don't worry about the jam of bases loaded, no out. Just look for that first out and then work from there. Made a good pitch right there to Keane.
The 1-0. Check swing, and he went around 0-2. These are the handshakes right now in Kitchener. Final score 7-1 over the Barrie Bay Cats. So they have given themselves a much better chance at getting into the playoffs, and it puts the onus even more on Brantford here. There's a swing and a miss, strike 3. 1 away.
Now batting for Brantford, the right fielder, number 24, Matt Hayden.
So Jordan Castaldo is going to get another at-bat in the 9th inning. If the Maple Leafs go 1, 2, 3 in each of the next innings, he'll be the last out. So he will get another chance to extend that hitting streak. Check swing in there for a strike.
And we just found out crucial information about that long streak. Again, credit to our graphics guy, Gus Cousins. But it was 87 hits and 68 walks, was it?
Yeah, incredible number, but that's in jeopardy here in the 9th no matter what happens. That's
interesting. So I think there's a pinch hitter up at bat right now.
Yeah, this is Isaiah Ramos, and I'm not sure how much, as that one's just outside. I don't know how much hitting Isaiah Ramos has done. He's listed as a pitcher, and from what I've seen, he's been a pitcher for the Brantford Red Sox.
And if he's coming in defensively, he'll be coming in right field for Matt Fabian.
Here's the 1-2. Ramos swings and misses, and that's the first at-bat that Isaiah Ramos has had in the Intercounty Baseball League, and he strikes out swinging. Oh, I'm not sure what's wrong with Matthew Fabian, but that's a big loss, and that was a rather easy out there for the Maple Leafs. It's
a massive play for them. Massive play for the Maple Leafs.
And Brantford obviously does not have any hitters left on the bench. So Julian Valdez knew the assignment there. Now he just has to get it out, and he's escaped bases loaded with nobody out. Gus Wilson at the plate. This is a tough hitter.
It's a tough hitter, but it's also been a tough day at the plate for Gus Wilson. 0 for 4 with 3 strikeouts on the day.
Josh Laukkanen warming up in the bullpen for Brantford. That's very interesting. He is traditionally a starter for the Brantford Red Sox. But maybe the importance of this game, they're treating it like a playoff game.
They understand the high stakes that are here.
Count 1 and 2 on Gus Wilson. Here's a huge pitch from Valdez. Swing and a miss, strike 3. The bases were loaded with nobody out, and Julian Valdez gets out of it. The Brantford Red Sox lead by 2, and the Maple Leafs with 6 outs to work with are coming up. Maple Leafs looking for some runs here against the Brantford Red Sox, but as soon as that Kitchener Panthers game came to an end, Josh Laukkanen, who's probably their best pitcher, started warming up for the Brantford Red Sox, and he is into the game to try and close things out here against the Maple Leafs.
You think somebody had the game on the phone?
I think someone did. Because now, I mean, this is do or die for Brantford. They have to win this game. They know what's at stake right now. Their games, other than their game against Kitchener, do not get any easier than this. A 1-0 Amara in there for a strike, 1-1. Mara hits this one on the ground to shortstop. Throw to first, picked at first nicely by Nick Burdett, and there's one away.
Yeah, nice play at shortstop by Gus Wilson right there. Worked around it beautifully and on the run throw. So over in the Maple Leafs bullpen, it looks like Adam Mara is actually warming up here. He's starting to throw off the mound.
Isaiah Ramos right now is the guy in right field. And with all these lefties in the lineup for the Maple Leafs, they might hit a fly ball out there, and I do not know how much outfield Isaiah Ramos has played. He's had 2 pro ABs in the Pioneer League before this. So, not a lot.
And obviously, you got to wonder, you know, the right fielder that was initially in the game here for the side of Brantford, is he all right? Is it a possible injury or not?
Pitch in the dirt to Cole Murchison. You'd think that this is Josh Laukkanen's game to finish.
Most likely, yes.
The 1-1. Murchison hits one up the middle again, and that one bounds into center field for the second base hit of the game for Cole Murchison.
A lot of topspin on that ball. Murchison, he got on top of it, but he has enough power to where it hit that ground and it took that extra spin and that extra hop. So now, if the Maple Leafs could just get this back to the top of the order here, Ryan Dos Santos, who has been seeing the ball extremely well over his past 4 games, Jordan Castaldo right behind him, and Justin Morrow. Those 3 bats, if they can get to the top with some runners in scoring position, things can get very interesting for the Maple Leafs.
Johnson with 1 away and a runner on and a big swing and a miss, strike 1. So here's the logic, I think, for the Brantford Red Sox. No matter how they cut it, they're only getting 1 more start out of Josh Laukkanen. They could pitch him against the Welland Jackfish on August 15th, but with him pitching today, and that being in 4 days' time, he's not going to pitch, most likely, against Welland.
Unless it's a relief appearance again.
Right. But that game against Welland is also going to be really, really hard to win in Welland. They have another 2 home games after that. One of them's going to be against Kitchener. That we know. That game's not scheduled yet. So maybe they're saving him for that game against Kitchener because that's the most impactful game they have. There's a swing and a miss by Julian Johnson. And he goes down swinging. But no matter how you cut it, there's only 1 more window for Josh Laukkanen to start, and they might just pitch him here, realize that they can get something out of him right now, and then pitch him against the most impactful game coming up, which is probably going to be against Kitchener.
Yeah, and it's trying to, when you look at it, it's a smart strategy because they're trying to get the most that they can out of their best pitcher. And if you can get him here and he holds things down, that's massive for Brantford. And then kind of the same thing for the remaining games. You can use him for 1 more start guaranteed, but other than that, maybe he has a couple more relief appearances.
Charlie Towers at the dish with 2 away. The 0-1 from Laukkanen. Just misses outside. Jeremiah Sucre will certainly be in the mix to start one of these games for Brantford. Farquharson and Laukkanen, those are the three guys that they want to have on the mound for every one of the remaining games. Here's a bounding ball that takes a wicked hop at second base. There was nothing Kieran Bowles could do about it, and Charlie Towers has himself another hit.
That hit the exact lip of the grass on the infield there, and honestly, I don't think you can put it else as just a Christie bounce.
Well, no one's been more productive at the plate lately than Ryan Dos Santos. 3 hits last time out against this Brantford Red Sox team. And he's walked 3 times today.
He's seen the ball extremely well over his last 4 games. He's risen that on-base percentage to .470.
Maple Leafs faced Ricardo Alvarez de Lugo in that last game 2 nights ago. And he might be in the mix to start some games as well. There's a swing and a miss by Dos Santos. Here's Laukkanen's 1-1. Dos Santos takes a strike. And Ryan Dos Santos scratch across another run here for the Maple Leafs. He's got a great ability to hit the ball the other way. And if he finds a gap, he can do some damage as well. He's got a huge gap between left and center to shoot for. The 1-2. Swing and a miss. Strike 3. A fist bump from Jeremy Villa as he heads back to the dugout, and Josh Laukkanen sets down the Maple Leafs in the bottom of the 8th. The Brantford Red Sox trying to close things out, but first looking for some insurance runs here in the 9th.
Top of the 9th here at Dominico Field. Adam Mara will come on to do the pitching duties here for the Maple Leafs, try to keep the deficit at bay. The Leafs trail 3-1 against the Brantford Red Sox here. Josh Laukkanen had a really good bottom half of the 8th. This is skied into shallow center field. Looks like Lewis has a beat on it, and he does. He'll make the catch for out number 1.
Now batting for Brantford, the first baseman, number 25, Nick Burdett.
And the man that has the difference here is Nick Burdett. He comes up for another plate appearance. The 2 RBI single, and he also walked in his last time up. saw the ball very, very well out of the hand of Angel Castro. Now it gets a little bit tough. Again, Adam Mara on the mound. You can see what he's been able to do. 15 games, 3.05 ERA.
Well, uncharacteristically, he hits Nick Burdett there. So, once again, Brantford Red Sox have the leadoff guy on. Oh, a guy on.
A guy. Yeah, last inning though, looking at my scorebook here, that was a massive end to the inning for Julian Valdez. I mean, the first 3 reach, and then what does he do after? Well, 3 straight strikeouts.
Yeah. Giving the Maple Leafs a chance here in this game. 2 runs is not insurmountable for the Maple Leafs with the power that they have, and they got the right part of the order coming up. Jordan Castaldo is going to lead things off, but this one gets off the glove of Justin Mara, so now Nick Burdett is in scoring position for a good hitter in Dorsian. Mike Dorsian facing the lefty Adam Mara. This is not a bad matchup for a righty. Mara misses outside 3-1. Outside ball 4. 2 walks in the inning for Mara.
Yeah, it looked like an arm side high that he missed, and again, that's just opening up a little bit too early for Mara. He needs to finish downwards here, these next couple pitches, especially against a good hitter like Kieran Bowles.
Adam Mara has only walked 4 batters all season in his 17 2/3 innings. Bowles hits one on the ground. Charlie Towers has it, steps on the bag himself, throws to first, in time, double play. What a job by Adam Mara to induce the ground ball, and Charlie Towers makes a nice play at second base. The Maple Leafs need some runs. Last chance coming up here in the 9th, in the on-base streak of 71 games for Jordan Castaldo is on the line when we come back. So Jordan Castaldo trying to extend the streak. Trying to make it 72 games in a row where he's been on base, dating back through the playoffs last season and into the regular season in July. Over that stretch has been on base 155 times in 71 games. First pitch in the dirt. A walk will do it, a base hit will do it. The 1-0 in there for a strike, 1-1. Jordan Castaldo looking back at the home plate umpire saying that pitch was up. It's a tough matchup here with Josh Laukkanen on the mound. Castaldo takes strike 2.
Man, I was just trying to do the math, how many at-bats. I messed up my count, but I think I was around 300 when I hit June 25th.
What a streak. Laukkanen with an ERA of 4.61 this season. That pitch misses low and outside to Jordan Castaldo. Jordan Castaldo hit a home run here at Dominico Field a couple games ago against Barrie. Here's the 2-2 pitch. And it's fouled off. He took a huge rip at that one. Hitting an even 300 now is Castaldo on the season. And importantly for the Maple Leafs, they need someone on base here. They've got some big power bats coming up with Justin Mara and Marcus Connect. Here's the 2-2. And he rips it down the line, foul. Jordan Castaldo working himself back into this at-bat. Castaldo with 27 RBIs on the season for the Maple Leafs and 6 home runs. Here's the 2-2. Swing and a foul tip. Fouled into the glove of Villeux, but it just popped out. The count remains 2-2. Laukkanen to the plate. Castaldo lines it down the line, just foul. Foul by about a foot down the right field line. I wonder if Jordan Castaldo knows what's on the line right now at the plate.
You gotta think maybe it's in the back of the mind.
Here's the 2-2. And it's popped into center field. This one is playable. With a little bit of room to work with out in center field for Castillo. And that may end the streak. Mara at the plate, and he takes low.
So I have the number of at-bats.
How many?
257 at-bats.
Well, the Maple Leafs will need to send this one to extra innings to get him another one.
He batted .295 in the stretch.
Wow. The on-base percentage is probably a whole lot higher than that.
Yeah.
Leading the league in walks in a couple of those seasons will do that for you. Unfortunately, the walk leader situation right now is kind of untouchable because Ryan Dos Santos just can't stop walking. The 1-2. Mara fouls it off. 1-2. I mean, the Brantford Red Sox pulled out the big gun in Josh Laukkanen here to shut down this game, and it's working so far. The Maple Leafs are down to their last 2 outs. The 1-2 hit on the ground to first, and it eats up Nick Burdett. Justin Mara will hold his ground there. Maple Leafs have the tying run coming to the plate, and it's Marcus Connect.
How about this? Power versus power. Laukkanen versus Connect here, and Marcus Connect, he's been swinging a red-hot bat.
Josh Laukkanen has had a couple of starts where he's got touched up a little bit, gave up 5 earned runs against the Chatham-Kent Barnstormers. The Maple Leafs got him for 4 in a game here against Toronto that they won 7-2. He's only had 1 relief appearance this season.
Connect last time up, he laced that double for an RBI.
Here's the 1-0. Takes a strike and the count's 1-1. Josh Laukkanen's actually had 2 relief appearances technically. The first one, he came into the first inning with nobody out against Toronto, and that was because it was a rain delay. And then Laukkanen, who was kind of the scheduled starter, and they knew that the game was going to get delayed, came in after the delay. Connect, lines one to second, and it's off the glove. They might have a forced play at second base, and it's the brand new right fielder, Isaiah Ramos, that can't field it cleanly, so the Maple Leafs have 2 on here.
They're cooking up a little bit of something here in the 9th, are the Leafs. 2 plays where it's just kind of eating up the infield.
So they probably would not have had a play, Isaiah Ramos in right field at second base, but with that being a line drive, Justin Morrow was heading back to first, so it meant he had a long run to get to second base, but when Ramos didn't field that ball cleanly in the outfield, remember he's a pitcher, they really had no shot.
Action in the Brantford bullpen now warming the right-hander number 20, Norm Coleman.
Connor Lewis coming to the plate. I mean, if he could do something here, he would be immortalized in the Toronto Maple Leafs, in the Maple Leafs dugout.
And I think just going through the mind here for these next 2 batters especially, it's just make contact, keep passing that torch down the line. The run that counts, or that's the most important, it's standing at first base right now when Marcus Connect.
It's not impossible that the bunt would be in play here for the Maple Leafs. Dan Mara is maybe the best singles hitter on the team. He's on deck. And Connor Lewis is an excellent bunter and very willing to do whatever he can to help the team out. We'll see if that's in play. He's swinging away and he's popped it up, but foul behind home plate.
And the man that's in the hole is Cole Murchison. And partner, how funny would it be if he comes up with the bases loaded and walks in the tying run?
Yeah, so Cole Murchison was the guy who drew the walk-off walk against the Bay Cats a couple of games ago for Toronto. The 0-1, up and away, 1-1.
It's a good approach here by Lewis right now. He knew that Laukkanen was going to attack him with a fastball in that first pitch, swung for it, and then he's going back to being kind of a selective hitter.
Now it's 1-1. 2 runners on for the Maple Leafs here in the bottom of the 9th. Lewis grounds it foul towards third base. It's 1-2. Josh Laukkanen trying to get a ground ball here. A double play would end this ball game. Brantford needing a win here against Toronto. They've got themselves within 2 outs. The 1-2, Connor Lewis in the air, left field. Gone! Connor Lewis! What can he not do? The Toronto Maple Leafs win the game. Connor Lewis comes through in the clutch again.
How about that? I mean, Connor Lewis, another massive swing. The Leafs win a massive ball game.
The Brantford Red Sox are standing on the field protesting that that ball was foul. And boy, it was close. The umpires are talking about this right now, but if this stands, this is one of the more incredible stories we've seen. I talked to Connor Lewis after the last game and asked him, was he thinking about hitting a home run to tie the ball game? He said, no, I don't hit home runs. I've never come to the plate thinking about a home run. Well, he's just hit the 2 biggest home runs of the season for the Maple Leafs in the last 3 games.
And it stands. That's the game. What a finish, and I mean, what an at-bat from Connor Lewis. He knew Laukkanen was going to come at him with a fastball, and with that first pitch, he swung through it. Went right back to being a very selective hitter, and he has it once again with a big swing down that left field line.
Connor Lewis wins it for the Toronto Maple Leafs in incredible fashion. This didn't look all that dangerous for the Brantford Red Sox. There were runners on first and second with one out, and a guy who doesn't hit a lot of home runs and doesn't try to hit home runs just drilled another one out of here down the left field line. It had plenty of distance, and it was just fair. So the Maple Leafs take this one 4-3. What a thriller here in Toronto, and that is just devastating for the Brantford Red Sox to lose a game in that fashion, burn one of their starting pitchers. They probably won't be able to start Josh Laukkanen next game, and to make matters worse, the Kitchener Panthers crushed the Barrie Baycats today, and for Brantford, it is going to be tough to make the playoffs. Well, we appreciate everyone tuning in here to Toronto Maple Leafs Baseball on YouTube. Brought to you by MNP, the final score of the Toronto Maple Leafs 4, the Brantford Red Sox 3.